Check this out. What if I told you that the secret to living to 100 isn't some expensive pill, fancy gym membership, or exotic superfood? Scientists have discovered that the most powerful longevity habits cost absolutely nothing. I've analyzed the latest research from the world's blue zones and longevity studies, and I'm going to reveal the 10 free habits that could add decades to your life. This isn't theory. This is backed by hard scientific data that nobody's talking about. Today, we're talking about something that affects every single one of us: how to live longer, healthier lives without spending a fortune. The longevity industry has exploded into a $610 billion market, with expensive clinics charging $20,000 for genome sequencing and blood plasma exchanges costing $10,000 per treatment. But here's what they don't want you to know. The most effective longevity interventions are completely free. I've spent weeks studying the research on centenarians, people who live past 100, and what I've discovered will shock you. The longest-lived populations aren't taking expensive supplements or using cutting-edge technology. They're following simple, consistent habits that anyone can adopt starting today. In this video, I'm going to break down the 10 most powerful, science-backed habits that cost nothing but can dramatically extend your lifespan. By the end, you'll understand exactly what you need to do to potentially add decades of healthy years to your life. In this space, we explore gentle rituals that support your body, calm your mind, and, yes, can help you live longer. Welcome to Mind Body Rituals, a new Win Channel series for you. The first habit that's absolutely critical for longevity isn't what you think. It's not about intense workouts or expensive gym memberships. It's about consistent, gentle movement throughout your day. Research from the American Heart Association shows that just 150 minutes of moderate activity per week can reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease by 30%. But here's what's fascinating. Studies of centenarians in blue zones like Sardinia and Okinawa show they rarely exercise in the traditional sense. Instead, they move naturally throughout their day, walking, gardening, doing housework. The key is avoiding prolonged sitting. When you sit for hours, your body essentially goes into hibernation mode. Your metabolism slows down, inflammation increases, and your body starts breaking down. Even standing up for 5 minutes every hour can counteract these effects. Try this. Set a timer to get up and move for 5 minutes every hour. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Park farther away from store entrances. These small movements add up dramatically over time and cost absolutely nothing. The second habit is something I've been talking about for years: time-restricted eating. This isn't about what you eat, but when you eat, and it's one of the most powerful longevity interventions discovered. A groundbreaking study published in Cell Metabolism showed that simply limiting your eating window to 8 to 10 hours per day can increase lifespan by up to 20%. These studies are showing great benefits for metabolic health. When you fast for 14 to 16 hours, which includes sleep time, your body activates autophagy, the cellular cleanup process that removes damaged components and recycles them. Think of it as your body's natural detox system. This process is absolutely critical for longevity. The beauty of time-restricted eating is that it costs nothing and requires no special foods. Simply finish your last meal by 7 p.m. and don't eat again until 9 a.m. the next day. That's a 14-hour fasting window that most people can easily achieve. The third habit focuses on sleep quality, which is perhaps the most underrated factor in longevity. A landmark study in the journal Sleep showed that people who consistently get less than 6 hours of sleep have a 12% higher mortality rate. But here's what's fascinating. It's not just about how long you sleep, but how well you sleep. Your body performs critical repair processes during deep sleep, including hormone regulation, immune system strengthening, and brain detoxification. To optimize your sleep environment without spending a dime, make your bedroom completely dark. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Keep the temperature between 65 to 68 Fahrenheit. Remove all electronics from your bedroom. Establish a consistent sleep schedule, even on weekends. These simple changes can dramatically improve your sleep quality, which directly impacts your longevity. The fourth habit addresses something that's silently killing millions: chronic stress. When your body is constantly in fight or flight mode, it produces excess cortisol, which accelerates aging at the cellular level. A fascinating study from the University of California found that chronic stress actually shortens your telomeres, the protective caps on your DNA that prevent aging. Shorter telomeres are directly linked to shorter lifespans. But here's the key. You don't need expensive stress reduction programs. The most effective techniques are completely free. Deep breathing. Just 5 minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing reduces cortisol levels by up to 23%. Nature exposure. 20 minutes in a natural setting lowers stress hormones significantly. Meditation. Even 10 minutes daily has been shown to physically change brain structure. The centenarians in blue zones all have built-in stress reduction practices, whether it's the Ikigai, purpose-driven lifestyle in Japan, or the daily social connections in Sardinia. The fifth habit is so simple you might dismiss it, but it's absolutely critical. Proper hydration. Your body is approximately 60% water, and every cellular process depends on adequate hydration. A National Institutes of Health study found that even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% below optimal, impairs cognitive function, increases inflammation, and stresses your cardiovascular system. Over time, chronic mild dehydration accelerates aging. The key is to drink water consistently throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. Thirst is actually a late-stage dehydration signal. By the time you feel thirsty, your body is already experiencing negative effects. A simple formula. Take your weight in pounds, divide by 2, and that's approximately how many ounces of water you should drink daily. For a 150-pound person, that's 75 ounces. The sixth habit might surprise you. Meaningful social connections. This isn't just about having friends, it's about having deep, meaningful relationships. A remarkable 80-year Harvard study found that the quality of your relationships is the single strongest predictor of longevity and happiness. People with strong social connections had a 50% reduced risk of early death compared to those who were isolated. In every blue zone region where centenarians are common, strong social bonds are a defining characteristic. In Okinawa, they have moai, social support groups that last for life. In Sardinia, multiple generations live together or very close by. You don't need to move to a blue zone to get these benefits. Simply prioritize face-to-face interactions, join community groups, volunteer, or schedule regular family meals. These connections literally extend your life. If you're still here, your future self is already thanking you. But here's the twist. Most people skip the simplest habit. Which one do you think it is? Then keep watching to see if your guess makes the list. The seventh habit is about having a clear reason to wake up each morning. The Japanese call it Ikigai, your reason for being. A study in JAMA Psychiatry found that people with a strong sense of purpose had a 23% reduction in all-cause mortality and lived an average of 7 years longer than those without clear purpose. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It could be caring for family members, volunteering, creating art, or mentoring others. The key is that it gives your life meaning beyond yourself. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What would you regret not doing if your life ended tomorrow? That's often a clue to your purpose. The eighth habit is something our ancestors got plenty of, but modern humans are severely lacking: proper sunlight exposure. A groundbreaking study in the Journal of Internal Medicine found that people who avoided sun exposure had a life expectancy 2.1 years shorter than those with moderate sun exposure. This is largely due to vitamin D production, but sunlight provides other benefits beyond vitamin D. Morning sunlight exposure helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which impacts everything from sleep quality to hormone production. Just 10-15 minutes of morning sun without sunglasses signals your body to properly time all its biological processes. The key is moderation. You don't want to burn, but brief regular sun exposure is essential for longevity. The ninth habit might sound uncomfortable, but it's incredibly powerful: brief cold exposure. This practice activates a process called Hormesis, where mild stress actually strengthens your body. Research published in Cell showed that cold exposure activates brown adipose tissue, brown fat, which increases metabolic rate and improves insulin sensitivity. It also triggers the release of norepinephrine, which reduces inflammation and improves mood. You don't need an expensive cold plunge. Simply ending your shower with 30-60 seconds of cold water provides significant benefits. Start with just 5 seconds and gradually build up. This practice costs nothing but can dramatically improve your health. The 10th and final habit is about both how you eat and what you eat. A powerful combination that costs nothing but adds years to your life. Let's start with mindful eating. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that eating slowly and mindfully improves digestion, reduces overeating, and enhances nutrient absorption. It also reduces stress hormones that accelerate aging. The Okinawans practice hara-hachi-bu, eating until you're 80% full. This slight caloric restriction has been shown to extend lifespan in virtually every species studied. To practice mindful eating, eat without distractions. No TV, phone, or computer. Chew each bite thoroughly. Aim for 20-30 chews. Put your fork down between bites. Stop eating when you're 80% full. But what you eat is equally important, and here's the fascinating part. The most longevity-promoting foods are also the most affordable. A landmark study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that people who ate more whole foods lived significantly longer than those consuming processed foods. The longest-lived populations in the world eat simple, whole foods that are available to everyone. By combining these foods with mindful eating practices, you're addressing multiple pathways of aging simultaneously. Before we wrap up, I want to share one more bonus powerful habit that is essential for longevity. These might seem obvious, but they're so important they deserve special attention. This habit is so powerful, it's almost unfair to others. A landmark study in the British Medical Journal found that smoking takes an average of 10 years off your life. 10 years! But here's the good news. Quitting at any age provides immediate benefits. Within just 20 minutes of quitting, your heart rate drops. Within 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels in your blood return to normal. Within 1 to 9 months, coughing and shortness of breath decrease. And within 1 year, your risk of coronary heart disease is cut in half. What about alcohol? The data here is fascinating. While some studies suggest very moderate consumption, like 1 glass of wine a few times a week, might have some benefits, the latest research from the Global Burden of Disease study shows that the safest level of alcohol consumption is 0. Each additional drink per day increases your risk of health problems. Just 2 to 3 drinks daily can increase your risk of liver disease, certain cancers, and cardiovascular problems by 20-50%. The financial benefits are substantial, too. The average smoker spends about $2,300 per year on cigarettes. Someone who has 2 drinks daily at a bar might spend $3,000, $5,000 annually. Cutting down these habits does not just extend your life, it puts thousands of dollars back in your pocket. If you currently smoke or drink heavily, don't be discouraged. Even reducing consumption provides significant benefits. And there are many free resources available to help, from community support groups to apps that track your progress. So, there you have it. 11 completely free habits that science shows can dramatically extend your lifespan. These aren't quick fixes or fads. They're the fundamental practices observed in the longest-lived populations around the world. What's remarkable is that these habits work synergistically. When you combine proper movement, time-restricted eating, quality sleep, stress management, hydration, social connection, purpose, sunlight, cold exposure, mindful eating with whole foods, and avoiding smoking and limiting alcohol, you're addressing virtually every biological pathway involved in aging. But now you know the truth. You have the power to potentially add decades of healthy years to your life without spending a dime. If you find this information valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health content. Even the smallest change can create a ripple. Which habit are you most curious to start today? Write in the comments below. You might inspire someone else. Remember, it's not about living to 100 just to reach a number. It's about maintaining your health, independence, and vitality throughout your entire life. These habits don't just add years to your life, they add life to your years. This is exactly what we see in the blue zones, where centenarians naturally incorporate most or all these habits into their daily lives. Thanks for watching. Here's to small steps and steady growth.